Yo,
Kevin,
hey, what's up, Paul?
why are you acting so nonchalant?
I don't know. It's just just another day in life here in Los Santos.
Do you really
How was
not?
up?
Do you really not care about the people, like the people you've known for so long that much?
I don't know what you're talking
All
about.
I'm hearing is negative shit, man.
Oh, wait, what are you hearing now?
Just you're saying the businesses you're gonna sell for like 1.5 million. You don't want to do the 150 a week. Like, what's going on?
150 a week's a lot of money, Paul.
Okay, but that those businesses make so much more than 150. And it's they're not trying to buy those buildings to fuck you over. They want them because they're in the turf.
Um, okay, both of these things are correct. The businesses do generate quite a bit of money, but
And I know the buildings, you put like 800K into them or whatever, and they'd be willing to pay everything and give you some on top. But like 1.5 million is just crazy.
listen, those buildings are worth more.
I know they're worth a lot, but like they're worth they're worth a lot for people who are gonna use them for what they are. And the gang's just gonna use them because they're in our turf.
I mean, the gang will eventually use them for what they are, right? Like, these guys could put together a mechanic shop. These guys could put together a farm.
They're doing the mechanic shop at Ming's warehouse, but like,
I mean, Little Soul would be better, like, objectively speaking.
Probably, yeah, but one of the best he's ever done anything the best way possible.
Yeah, but if they had the building, then they would just do it because it would just be the most logical thing to do.
I don't know, but still. I don't know. I was gonna try to buy one off you, but you're like 1.5 million is crazy.
I mean, listen, I would prefer to operate those in some capacity.
And that's the best way to go about it. But like, if you can't even pay a decent amount, where there's like a good boundary between us and everything can be let off easily, then it's just hard for them to be open to stuff.
I mean, I was down to 50K a week. 50K is like a pretty good number. That's like a whole day's profit.
50K for 3 building is not a good deal though.
Yeah, 50K a week. That's $200,000 a week just for owning the building. Then it's another $20,000 per building, 60,000 plus 60,000 just to own the property.
So it's like what, 50K per building?
Then consumption fees, bro. I paid like 30K each building for the fucking sprinklers and the water.
Of course, yeah.
Like, the operating costs on it is not compared to anything else.
It's the fact that it's the gang's block,
I mean, listen, if I didn't buy those properties when I did, the gang was not going to buy it. They had no intention of buying it. They didn't have the money to buy it. Any random Joe Schmo would have walked in there and bought that property. It wouldn't have been an issue.
Yeah, you're right. But now that you have them and the gang has the option to buy them, it's just, why are you trying to make it harder for the things to go down in an easy route? So I don't want this to end poorly. I still want to be friends with you, and I still want to be cool with you and chill with you, and it's gonna be impossible if you ruin the relationship with everybody in the game over a little bit extra money.
I mean, listen, 150K a week is a lot of money. That's like
50K per building, and that's 3 different businesses you'd be running out of each of them.
It's too much. That's like the profit on the day's work.
Yeah, but a day out of 7 days is not.
Yeah, I mean, that's if I'm there fucking 16 hours a day.
Of course, if you're there, but these are businesses, and you're gonna grow them again. That'll just be with different people.
Yeah, but they're getting taxed as if they were already at that point.
Why do you want to go down the hardest route? Why do you want to push all these people completely out of your life?
Like, I mean, listen, the hardest route would have been me calling up every other gang in the city and selling the building to the highest bidder, because they might be able to fuck with me, but they're not going to be able to fuck with 4 other gangs. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just not the way that's going to play out. And then it would have been it. You know what I'm saying? So I could have disappeared, lived my retirement.
Is your goal to just fuck everybody over now that you're gone?
I'm not trying to fuck anybody over. I wanted to run my businesses. I just don't want to run my businesses at the expense of all the profit that they would generate. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, what happened to your plan about having a new plaza?
I mean, that's still in the cards. And when there's an option to buy a new plaza, I will buy a new plaza. and then I'm gonna sell the business. I'm gonna sell those buildings on the open market. Whoever buys them. If me and Ford can't work out a deal.
I mean, the way you're portraying it is you don't want to work with him at all.
I don't know why he took it that way. I don't know why he took it that way because I was very cordial and he was the one telling me what the options that I had, and I expanded the list and got feelings about it.
Obviously, he's gonna feel some type of way about it.
Sure, but I was pretty civil this whole time. I gave all these guys all their properties. I could have taken their shit. I could have given it to another gang. You know what I'm saying?
Today, but you haven't been civil the past week.
And that's not true. Every time they asked for property, I gave it back. Gave them their businesses back. I didn't steal Buckcoin. I didn't steal fucking graphics cards. I didn't steal guns.
But usually, if you care enough about people that were in the gang, even if it was bad and it didn't work out for you, you'd try to work something out that, you know, you're not taking advantage of either side. Like, there's no advantage besides to you to just sell them for 1.5 million and say that you'll sell them to the highest bidder and another gang that doesn't like us. Like who's gonna have your back if you do that? I can't have your back. Sure, you can say you're gonna go into hiding. Do you really want to get shot every day?
I mean, I'm not gonna go to hiding. I'm just eventually gonna find my way to another group. You know, it's just a question of which group.
You think they're gonna want to deal with that?
Maybe.
I don't know. It just seems like you're trying to fuck everybody over now that you're gone. Yesterday,
bro. I gave them all the properties. I gave them all of their properties. I earned the money to buy those properties on my own, with my own businesses. I decorated them. I furnished them. I hired all the staff and employee. I gave opportunities to people to the network. You know what I'm saying? Like
that back. It's just a building. People who work there that are not even affiliated with the gang still want to work for you. Like Smitty could work with you. You could watch the seeds that she puts her hands on. Zeus still wants to work with you. You keep all of that. It's not like you're losing connections. In fact, you're probably gonna lose more connections just saying fuck you. I wanna sell and make $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 profit.
Here's the other thing, right? He offered me $600,000 to buy a building in the heart of the city without there being an alternative property for me to purchase.
Okay.
Like, I'm at 1.5 million. He's at 600K. Like,
I mean, the building's worth.
That's just not a deal.
600K. The building's
yes,
the building's
the building is worth $1 million at least.
Yes, a commercial building is worth a lot of money, but it's not worth a lot of money in Little Seoul. No one's gonna be able to run their businesses out of here because no one's gonna want to get taxed by the besties. And anyone who lives in this area is going to be taxed by us no matter what. It's either they accept the tax or they get shot down every single day. Nobody wants to deal with that. They'd rather just wait for another building. So no, these buildings don't have as much worth as a random commercial building off in the middle of no one's block. I get what you're saying, but I mean, this is literally in the heart of the besties block. We operate literally across the street, and where we sell all of our drugs is less than a block away. No one's gonna be able to operate the way they want to out of Little Seoul, except the besties. And that's why the buildings are normally worth a lot of money. Like you could probably get a commercial building up in fucking Rockford or whatever, and it'd be worth more than 1.5 million. But no one's gonna spend that much buying a fucking building in our block when they're gonna get taxed 150K a week.
All right, so let me ask you, what about Denzel? What about the G6 guy?
They don't run huge businesses out of here.
What are you talking about? They have a whole fucking farming operation in the arcade. They have a whole farming operation in the other spot as well.
It's one building.
That's just generating as much as my building's generating.
Yeah, but one building is way different than 3 buildings, and there's like an amnesty with
that,
you know?
It's 2 buildings. It's 2 buildings versus 3 buildings. That's what we're talking about here.
I thought you had 3 buildings over here.
I mean, isn't this other guy in Civ Gang?
Who?
The G6 guy. Fucking forgot his name.
I didn't know there was a G6 building over here.
Yeah. There's a guy who has a farm.
I mean, it's gonna be. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's gonna be the same. If another prominent gang came down here and tried to do anything and run business out of here, they wouldn't be able to. And I don't think any other person other than a prominent gang is gonna spend 1.5 million on one singular building.
All right. This is a hypothetical, right? So you're telling me, right? If I sold one building to Chain Gang, one building to Cypress, and one building to I don't fucking know,
Yes, all of them would get
some
taxed.
random game. It hasn't happened to this point, so it's like kind of hard to believe. You know what I'm saying? But
I mean, we can't really tax a G6 guy. He's not part of a gang. We're never gonna fucking see the guy. It's not worth chasing that one guy down like a ghost. Civ gang, I'm pretty sure like we have talks about like putting them on the block and shit, so because the other gang is out. But like I'm just telling you that the value of, you're right about the value of a commercial building, you're not right about the value of a commercial building in the heart of someone else's turf. Like, imagine if Besties bought a business and was running it out of the middle of Cyprus. Playing in that group would not let it fucking run correctly. Or if there was a house in the fucking cul-de-sac on Hydra block, they would not just let someone come buy it. It's the same. And that's why it just seems like you're just trying to get a quicker.
I'm gonna run. Yeah, I mean 100%.
And I don't know why. Like,
I mean, I played real nice to this point, and I want to get a fair value for what the property's worth and all the money that I won't be making.
I don't think it is a fair value. I think it's like a miscalculation on the value. Like 800k, 800,000. It was 600 to buy. You probably put 100,000 of stuff into it.
Hold on. Let me call you right back.
Yeah, call me back. Welcome back.
So what were we saying?
I was just saying that I feel like it's a miscalculation. I think yeah, you may lose out on a little bit of money for a week. But it gets you cut all ties with the people you don't want to be involved with. You're done. You don't have to deal with anything anymore. No one comes after you. No one fucking. You don't have to deal with any problems in life. It's just easy and simple, and you still make money.
See, I don't know if that's true. I think I sell the property, I give all the leverage I have, and then all the things that some of these people want to do, they're just gonna do anyways.
Ooh, what do people want to do?
At the very least, I may as well get the fucking bag.
But the thing is, the gang will never pay you 1.5 million per building. I don't think anyone will pay you 1.5 million for the building. No one wants to come down here and deal with us. And you said like
I think okay, no, I think like
the only person who would be a problem if you brought down here, it would be Hydra. And
I mean, what about what if I just sold it to fucking Hades, Cypress, Chain Gang? Like you just literally would never see these people. There just would be no conflict because it's just be opposite schedules.
Yeah, but when we do see them, and the people we do see, they get tired of it quick. It's just like it's like you're trying to incite something. These are all
hypotheticals.
Yeah, I know you're trying to incite something rather than fixing it and just cutting yourself off and being done with it. You could either accept 150k, which is I think reasonable, 50k per building, or is like, I mean, Smitty was making 40k a day.
Yeah, but that's like her getting 50 to 60% of what was generated. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
And you figure
you're gonna have so many people doing it rather than just you.
Yeah, but then you figure that like the fucking taxes, the water bill,
obviously you're operating. I think the water bill and stuff is not going to be that much at the end. 30k a month is like.
Well, it's 30k plus 20k, right? Because the carrying costs on the actual building, not counting consumption, just having the property is 20k.
Okay, so
50k plus another 50k plus another. It's 50k a month to hold a building as far as the state's concerned, and then another $200,000 to hold the building for the besties. It's kind of like, I don't know. It's kind of a bit much. Literally taxed more than the government.
I mean, yeah, because it's a gang, you know. It's obviously gonna be different, way different. It's like letting someone sell out of your garage. Just
Yeah,
consider
but
little
the
sold at
location,
home.
is just it's a consequence of the history to this point, right? The
Hmm.
location itself isn't generating the revenue for the
I
business
know,
at
but
this point. Like nobody's going to farm in Little Seoul because they want to farm in Little Seoul. They're going there because that's where the business is. See what I'm saying? The only thing that maybe is justified is the mechanic shop, because paying 50K for the mechanic shop, because the mechanic shop will genuinely benefit from being in that location. That seems fair to me. The other thing just feels like people are being spiteful. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's just a like you know how much it makes you're picking a price, yeah, you know.
Say that again?
I feel like as someone, I didn't work there a lot, but you can change your operating model to make way more than that. Like you're choosing to sell in the heart of a gang, like the heart of an area that belongs to a gang that you didn't want to be in anymore. So there's obviously going to be issues with like money. I don't think anyone's being spiteful. I think they just know how much it's worth to
I
them
mean, then,
as a gang.
I may as well just put it on the market and then let the market decide what it's worth.
I mean,
If you want to buy it, they
if you
buy
want to
it,
put
and
it for
then
1.5 mil, you can. And I'll be honest with you. I literally think no one will buy it, but I'm telling you 100%, no one's gonna just come down here and start operating at a Little Soul. And once they do it for a week and they realize that they're tired of getting fucked over, or tired of getting taxed, or tired of getting shot, they're just gonna sell it for a reasonable price. Like you have the opportunity to get back all of what you put into it and find somewhere else and move on without having to deal with any issues. No one wants issues with you at all. I want things to end where everybody feels good about the ending. And I feel like you could end it where you feel good about the ending and you don't have all these problems that will arise if you decide to follow one of your hypotheticals.
Oh, you're speaking to Kevin.
It's to me, I feel like our relationship will degrade because of how you're handling it.
Speaking in hypotheticals again.
Yeah. You can literally get every single thing you put into all these buildings, lose nothing besides the buildings, and then start over and have everything. Or you can wait and wait and wait and feel like you're getting chased around, or you know, getting forced out of places. Or you can just, you know, do a forehead said and pay the amount that he thinks is reasonable. I think like 130k is more reasonable than 150. I don't think maybe you're right. The farming isn't as worth it as the mechanic shop, but operating out of the middle of someone's turf, no bars, kind of do whatever you want as you please, and still being, you know, at least somewhat supported by the people in that group. It's like a win-win, you know. Obviously,
yeah, I
maybe
mean,
you have.
I
Obviously, maybe you
understand your
have.
logic.
Obviously, you may feel a little bit different because it seems like you want to force it to be something more than it is in my head at least. But I hope that you don't want that, and that you choose not to do that, so that we don't, you know, have issues in the future. I don't want not only everything we've done in this group to be tarnished, as well as everything you've done with all the people before the besties were even around back in Gulagging and shit. Like it feels like you're trying to throw out every connection.
There's no like the things and the value that I created and offered to those groups while I was there and whatnot. Like nothing I do to this point is going to change the value that was created in those moments, nor is anything I do at this point going to change the value that I might create for our group in the future. Right? These things are just they're just not connected. Even if
It
people
has
wanted
nothing
to
do about
spin that,
value. It's the connections in people. That's what you lose. No one cares about value. You lose the people that you've had for so long. You're just literally pushing every single person away. And for what? Like you could end this
I mean,
on
listen,
terms where
fair
everybody
market
feels good.
value. I
If
mean,
you're
listen,
so
I
worried
gave
about
these
fair market
guys.
value and things that don't even make sense when all of the parts of the city that don't make sense, like gangs and territory and all that stuff comes into play. It's way more than a fucking number above the building or whatever fucking type of building it is. It's you lose the people I think you should care about, or I think you care about, and you're putting a number on something that you really can't put a number on. A building in the middle of a gang territory that is a gang nobody wants to have issues with. It's like you want to instigate or incite something and then just fucking figure it out from there. Or you could save it. You could literally just make it easy on yourself and make it easy on us so that we don't have to fucking feel guilty for this shit. You're putting everybody in a situation where it's not just us losing a gang member, it's us losing a friend, it's us losing someone we've known forever, it's us losing like a brother. That's what I feel.
Listen, at the end of the day, once I lose respect for somebody as leader, I can't follow. I can't follow them anymore.
You don't
Like,
have
it's just,
to. This
it's
has
the way it
nothing to
is.
do with following them. It's past the gang at this point. It's like you as a person and me as a person. It's like you care more about that number above the building when you still make profit no matter what, and you can still respect the gang and be done with it and just say, I don't want to be a part of this. This wasn't where I wanted to be, and how I did, and not how I wanted it to be. Maybe I'm misinterpreting your personality or who you are, or like what your values are at the end of the day, but yeah.
I value growth and progress above pretty much anything else. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I feel like a situation isn't conducive to my growth and my progress, then I will leave that situation. If I feel like people aren't behaving in a way that makes sense for their own personal growth and their own personal progress, especially if they're being self-destructive, it's one of those things that I'll not tolerate in my energy.
Well, you're being self-destructive. The whole thing you're doing here is self-destructive.
It's negotiation, right? It's a negotiation. They're either gonna like give a little bit because 600K. There is no way.
600K.
There is no way 600K is worth it. Like that is an insult to me being respectful.
You put like 150K at least into it, and the building was 600K.
I mean, I'm gonna take all the shit. The building was 600K when I bought it, right? And I would obviously take all the shit out of those buildings, but like this idea that they're entitled to something that they wouldn't have had if I did not actually generate the revenue myself is crazy to me.
They don't feel entitled to it, but
that's what it comes across as.
Okay, yeah, I understand that. I feel like the way Forehead he explained it to me, maybe it came off that way, but it's not entitled to it, but it's in a turf, and they feel like they want to have the option to buy it from you, or the value it's worth, knowing everything we know. Or at least that's my take on it. We know it's in the middle of our turf. We know no one's gonna buy it for an exorbitant amount of money. We know that no one's gonna be able to use it correctly.
No, that's not true. That's not true. People will pay more than $1 million for that building. I promise you.
I mean, then put it on the market. Take the stuff out and put it on the market.
I mean, we're like day one into this negotiation, but if that's what it comes down to, that's what it'll come down to.
I don't think anyone's gonna pay more than 800K for it, like in the gang. To be honest with you. Because it's just not worth more than that. We'll make more money just taxing people every week for it. We don't care. No one cares about holding the buildings that much. It's in the turf. We can get it for a decent price over what was originally paid for it. If you're trying to be a realtor, sure, you can go try to make a bunch of money off a building, but they're not going to use it for enough. Like, you were the person who built those buildings up they're not gonna do that. Like the purple building hasn't been touched since you gave it, or the warehouse hasn't been touched since you did something with it. The LS house hasn't been. It's just gonna be buildings to hold, so that you know if we make businesses in the future or want to do something with it in the future, it's there. There's no value to it past the cost of the building. So they're not gonna spend $1.5 million on something for that. They're gonna make way more money just like charging someone once a week and being in control of it in that way. So I mean, if really what you care about at the end of the day is just moving forward and growing, and this is your way of going about it, I think it's flawed. I don't think you even know what you really want. But
I think 150k is too much. That's one. 150k is too much,
I think
and
130k
600k is way too low.
I think
20k different.
I
That's
think
like one
if
batch.
I were gonna pay for a building, I'd pay 800k for one of these buildings. Like if that would be my investment to a building like this. That's me in the gang. I feel like someone outside of the gang, sure, a commercial property for $1 million sounds good until they realize where it is, who they're dealing with, what's gonna happen to them if they don't follow a strict set of rules. It just value degrades because of that. Yeah, I wouldn't even buy a house in Jamestown because the VOG were there. I'm not gonna go buy a house.
Yeah, but
it's
like different. It's like different with business shit though. Like it has always been different with business shit.
I don't know.
Like in this city, the fucking the Rust Act, the Ego Act, like people press business people. Yeah, but Ego Act was a thing for a little bit. I don't know if it's still a thing, but these are the types of things that do come down the pipeline if people cry about it. And
I mean,
I don't think it is a sustainable practice for a legitimate business person who's going to sit there and actually like do everything by the law. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are the people, or those are the customers. That is a client base for the property, and those are the people who are most likely part of larger organizations who are willing to front the money for them. I think anything with a 1 in front of it's fair. You know what I'm saying? Whether or not I'm willing to take it, I don't know. I'd have to hear the number before I can make a call, but it has to have a 1 in front of it. There's just no way. Like spending $500,000, when I spend $500,000, do you know how many houses I could have bought in other parts of the city in that 2-3 month period? Like it's not even comparable. I also could have bought other warehouses in that same time, but I bought that property to hold it down.
You did.
Now the gang has an opportunity to buy it back, but they should be willing to pay a fair price, in my opinion.
I don't think it's a fair price, but I mean, we'll have to agree to disagree. Doesn't sound like I can get or even really understand you, what you really want, but I mean, you kind of know how things go, and you know where I stand. You know I'm for the gang, even though I'm very close to you and I care about you a lot. I can't have your back if you don't want to have someone have your back, you know? You don't let someone be there and have your back, but I understand you, I guess, what you want, kinda.
Yeah, I mean, I want fair market value for the real estate. When I transferred everything back, I did it in good faith. Now, in hindsight, I guess what I should have done was tell people, hey, this is what I want to do. I want to leave. Work out the deal in that moment, and then transfer all the properties when I had all the leverage, right? Because it feels like that's the only language that these guys understand.
I mean, that's kind of how gangs work, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I know for the future, because there will be a future where at some point somebody in this group wants something from me or has something that needs me for it to work or whatever, and I'll remember the way that I got treated when I was nothing but cordial the whole way, when I realized that my time was up here.
I think you're kind of like the person who leads your own issues sometimes. You did.
Say that again?
I feel like you put yourself in sometimes into the situations you get it yourself into.
Wait, sorry, one more time.
I feel like you put yourself in these situations sometimes. You didn't have to handle future the way you did, but you wanted to be petty, which is fine. And when you were petty, people didn't fuck with it, and they didn't like that. and I feel like a bad timing choice turned into more and more and more and more and more. And you, something happened to him, and then he did something to you, and then something happened to you, and you did something back. It's like, it's not. You were just as at fault as in this last week as the leaders were, I think. But
I mean, I disagree. They told me what to do. I did it, and then at the end, I didn't like the way that I didn't like what they decided and how they decided to do things. So I know what I'm worth and I'm a value, and I left. That's how it goes. That's how it happened.
okay.
Because like you are right, I could have been the bigger man, which I think is the prompt that people have been kind of like on this whole time. But when we're in a gang and there's a structure of hierarchy and there are leaders, we should be in that situation to begin with. Like this shit should just be fucking dealt with. You know what I'm saying?
You're right. And there are problems and they need to be worked on, and that's fine. But you create problems yourself for yourself too. Like right now, you're creating a problem for yourself in the future.
Do I feed the fire? Absolutely. You're not wrong about that.
And I mean, you're just burning more and more bridges. Like, sure, you say you can build more bridges and do better again, but the reason you have a lot of the bridges you have is because you were in the besties.
That's not true.
Like,
that is not a factual statement.
You have
The people in the besties, absolutely, but I was way more connected and I had way more people like on a day-to-day interaction with me before I joined the group than after I joined the group.
Yeah, of course, but anything you did, you would always have the backing of the besties.
I got stabbed by Hydra. We were supposed to get a trough. I didn't get that trough. The next day or the next like 2 days later, some shit happens with RJ and fucking Ash.
Communicate these issues with the leaders? Because I never even heard about that. I think you maybe told me once that you got stabbed by Hydra, but I never heard about anything else past that.
It's about priorities, you know, like certain things are priorities for certain groups.
So if it's a priority for you, you need to make that clear to the gang, you know?
I mean, listen, when I came around, this is back when I didn't come around during EU. When I asked about the hey, did we get the trough from Hydra? I'd be like, oh no, not yet. No, we didn't get it. But then a few days later, when Hydra's willing to make sure Ash gets her money from the fucking RJ shit, that shit happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a different way. Like, I don't fuck with Hydra like that, but they're handling their situations with their civilian members better than we are. You know what I'm saying?
Who?
Or better than we did, sorry.
Of course, yeah. I mean, not everybody's as aggressive as other gangs, but I mean, yeah, I get where you're coming from at some points. I feel like you could have communicated it better, but I don't know. Hopefully we don't have to fucking go down this fucking path that it's going, but I feel like you're asking for more because you want to use that leverage, you know, of having it.
Listen, I had the leverage when I had all the buildings, all the properties, and the businesses. If I wanted to really throw weight around, I would have did it back then. Is that right, or is that not wrong?
It's right, but it's kind of freaky that you even like consider saying it, you know? Most people wouldn't even consider that. Like, it's like, why is that in your head, you know?
It's in my head after the fact.
Yeah, I know, but it's like
to prove the point.
Okay. I get it. I guess your point is proven then. You could have done way worse, but yeah, I don't know. It was like it doesn't even matter what it feels like. Hopefully we can work something out. I hope you come around to negotiating a little bit better than you are and think about the value of where it is and who it actually has value to, rather than what you think value is besides like gangs and how fucking the politics work of gangs and territory and shit. But I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Poe, every step of the way from the first day I fucking did sanitation 8 years ago, I had to create value myself, and sometimes people were willing to take that and that's their thing, and sometimes they weren't. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes if I'm at square one and
I'd fucking lose everything for the people that I care about. But I don't think we're the same. So, I mean, it's just the base level difference between you and I as a person, and I don't think I could ever understand you where you're coming from completely. I'm trying to, but I get it. I get as much as I can.
Yeah, I mean,
And it's not a bad thing. It's just what it is, you know. So, I mean, I'm not pressing you. I was just trying to hear the whole story and tell you my side and how you think about things. But because I care about you and I care about the gang, obviously, but I don't want shit to go south and not be able to talk to you or be friends with you or fucking do shit with you anymore. I don't want to have to be the one to fucking chase you down and try to have to shoot you because you know, it's what we have to do as a gang or something. So I'm just giving you my POV before.
yeah, I mean, listen,
happens.
if these guys still want to shoot me after the way I handled
I don't think anyone wants to shoot you
exit,
right now, but
well, I'm just saying, right? Like, if it does get to that point because of the 3 properties that I bought free and clear with my own money, and like it gets to that issue, then however I decide to like deal with shit for that point is, you know, it is what it is.
yep. All right, well, good luck.
All right, later.